Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, I want to talk to you guys about a very um, unusual trend that I'm seeing with the bureaucracies and the military. Okay, so in years past, um, the bureaucracies and the military, regardless of which political party was in power, tried to kind of take the middle position. Right? They were always aware that regardless of who is in power, there's a good chance that in the future the other party might be in power. So uh, they didn't favor. They try not to favor one party versus the other. I mean, they worked with whatever party was in power at the time, but they were also open to the possibility that the other party might be in power in the future. And they didn't want to really piss them off too much. So it seemed like they were going with that mentality. Okay, and I have seen what I perceive as a big change in the last, I don't know, two years or so. Um, it seems like the bureaucracies and the military are all in with the Democrats. Okay, they're acting in such a way which would be consistent with the line of thinking that the Democrats will always be in power. Okay, that it doesn't matter if they piss off the other parties, right? And by that I mean the Republicans and the rest of them, libertarians, whoever, everybody else that other than Democrats. It seems like the bureaucracies and the militaries do not care if they piss off the other parties because it doesn't matter. Okay, that's the sense that I'm getting. So the question that I want us to consider is, what would make them draw that conclusion? Okay, what would make this change? Why is it that the bureaucracies plus the military are acting in such a way where they've almost completely disregarded the Republicans, the conservatives, constitutionalists, completely disregarding them and acting as if the Democrats will be in power forever. So it doesn't matter if they ignore Republican subpoenas, right? Republican House subpoenas. We're seeing this. I mean, this is a big thing that I'm seeing with the FBI right now, where the House is giving subpoenas to the FBI, and the FBI is basically ignoring them. Okay, or basically just really not giving them any respect. I mean, why aren't these people in the FBI worried that in the future the Republicans might, let's say, have complete control of the government, and they might come back and prosecute them? Okay, because that would be the normal thing, I think, for these bureaucrats to be concerned about. But it seems to me that they are not concerned about that in the least bit. They are completely comfortable with writing off Republicans, as if they will never be in the position of power to either to defund them, shut them down, investigate, and truly prosecute them. Okay, so I find this extremely, I find this trend to be very, very interesting. This is not something I have ever seen in the past. As long as I've been alive, 51 years I've been alive. Um, you know, in the past, the bureaucrats, as far as I could tell, and the military always took this position of, regardless who is in power now, the other party might be in power in the future, and they sort of hedge their bets. Okay, I am not seeing that now. Okay, I am seeing they're acting in such a way that would be consistent with them believing that the Democrats will always be in power. Okay, so something for you guys to ponder. Um, I've done a couple of videos on this. Basically, these bureaucracies and the military, they are self-serving. Okay, they are a class and a political party unto themselves. Um, they essentially they use from their perspective, the people are there to serve them. They provide labor and goods and services for the bureaucrats. Okay, and then the politicians are there as a means, right, to get those goods and services from the people over to the bureaucrats. Now, normally we when we refer to this, we talk about this in terms of funding these bureaucracies and funding the military. Okay, but so we tend to think about it in terms of money. But what does the money represent? Right, it's just a means for the bureaucracies and the military to gain access to the goods and the services that the people provide. Because if they didn't have access to the goods and services, basically they wouldn't have wheels or tires for their jeeps and for the treads for the tanks, right? So the bureaucracies see the people there as a means to provide them with goods and services, and then they see the politicians as a means to get them access to those goods and services. Okay, so like I said, the bureaucracies are a self-serving class at this point. They're there just to serve themselves. And it seems to me like they have completely thrown in their lot with the Democrats. They've said, okay, forget the Republicans. Republicans are never going to be in power again. We're not almost like we're not going to allow them to ever be in power again. It's going to be the Democrats from now on. So we only need to listen to Democrats. That's the feeling that I get as I look at the landscape of, as I look at how these bureaucrats, particularly the FBI bureaucrats, are acting towards the Republicans. They're just not giving them any respect. They're acting as if they will never, ever be in power again. So something for you guys to think about. Drop some comments below. I'll talk to you all soon.